In fact, you are making it to look somehow. I was told. Please, you are disturbing me here, sir. Please, you are disturbing me. Sir, please, you are disturbing me here. No manners, I don't even have manners. Okay, but you are picking on back now. Instead of you to say, I'm sorry, I didn't know. They say, they don't need to shout out. The guy shout out. are cars now. You are cars. Hello, leave the road. You are cars. You are cars. Hold on, hold on. Ah, hold on. You are cars now. You are cars. Hello, leave the road. telling you, if those guys should hear this, if those guys should hear this, this guy will be happy. Not because something like this. Last district, LG was almost burned down. TBC was burned down just because of our careless stuff. We should be careful, be mindful of what we say. Like journalists.
you are with us behind the banner. Behind the banner. That's the most important thing. We can protect you till Jesus comes. If you are behind the banner, we see you as part of us. No police can arrest you. No police. Everybody come in. Behind the banner, behind the banner. Come here. Behind the banner, behind the banner. Come here. to check our freedom, we are ready. We are not scared of you people. We are not scared of police officers. We are not scared of army. We are here, we are Nigerians. We are not enslaved in our own father's land. We have the right.
Donald Trump taps into American carnage as voting gets underway across the country. And is he getting policy ideas from a B-list Hollywood movie? Well, that's because what he is saying sounds like it was ripped from the pages of The Purge. It's a movie franchise, but here it is.
Business, right? They don't pay rent. The city doesn't have money. The whole, it's a chain of events that's so bad. One rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out and it will end immediately. End immediately.
One day of whatever you want, I guess. It is a literal movie plot, but real life policy.
Well, it's not policy. And this is red meat for the base, because they don't ask questions about, well, how would you do this and how would this work? It's just red meat, and I think it works for the base, but it reminded me of The Purge first, and then it reminded me more of The Hunger Games, where the ruling class puts a bunch of people together every year and says, you guys kill each other, to show control and instill fear in an electorate, in the citizenry, if we're comparing movies. But this is real life. And this is the kind of thing that turns off the people he needs to win. People in swing states who are undecided, who want to hear policy solutions, not stuff like this.
I mean, but in all seriousness, Congressman, I mean, is he suggesting that cops can do whatever they want for a day and that will actually solve the problem?
No, he's not. And even the clip you just played, what's it, 5 seconds out of, for Donald Trump, an hour speech? I think a lot of times people say, oh, well, he said this. For 5 seconds, yes, he says things that are unscripted. He goes off the cuff. He's not serious. There's no policy behind that. But I think where the American people truly are is they at least want to hear what somebody is thinking full-throated versus Kamala Harris, who is completely scripted, like badly scripted, and there's nothing coming out of it.
Did you know that Telegram is paying people just to reply to messages? And you know what's best? With just 30 minutes a day, you can earn extra income. But you've probably seen a lot.
This is a live look at Beirut as we speak. You can see a thick haze is hanging over the city there after overnight Israeli airstrikes. And some 200 kilometers up the coast from where we are here in southern Lebanon, Israel has started what it calls a limited ground operation, sending in paratroopers, commandos, and members of the armored corps. The Israeli military says it is conducting, quote, targeted raids at the Israeli-Lebanese border. Israel says there will be no long-term occupation of southern Lebanon. Lebanese state media says strikes are underway at this hour in southern Lebanon, and those attacks are causing severe damage. Meantime, Hezbollah says it has targeted parts of northern Israel during the early morning hours. The U.S. says Israel informed it of a number of operations, including the ground incursion. The U.S. National Security Council spokesperson tells CNN that the mission can be a risk of mission creep, as you will. The White House will keep discussing that with the Israelis. Right, CNN's Paula Hancock is in Abu Dhabi, and she has been monitoring what is going on both over Beirut and in southern Lebanon. And obviously this is a fast-moving story. Paula, the announcement at least of the ground invasion coming around 2 a.m. local time. We are now some hours into that operation. What further detail do we have?
Well, Becky, we have a team on the border saying that they had been seeing in those early hours flashes of light. They had heard the artillery fire in southern Lebanon. We've heard from state-run media, NNA, that there has been severe damage, as they describe it, in some of the villages at this point, saying that there's been damage to shops, to private houses, and also to crops. So as it is now light in those areas, we should get more information about what the impact on the ground has been. But we've heard from the Israeli side that the military saying that they had been training for this for months, saying also that they had gained skill and operational experience from what they have been doing over recent months in Gaza. They have described it as a limited and a targeted operation in southern Lebanon. The Israeli military saying that they will be focusing on a number of villages just across the border in southern Lebanon, areas where they say Hezbollah operatives are based, have been operating out of, and where they believe that there is Hezbollah infrastructure. Now, they have called it limited. There are, of course, concerns in Lebanon.
Stop! Is your skin dry and itchy? New Roscoe 80 probiotic honey is formulated with probiotics and probiotic to restore the balance of good bacteria, microbes, with your probiotics for growing.
Hello everyone. So I'm going to be reading out the Oktoberfest message from my president, Mr. Peter Obi. Anniversary celebrations, whether for an individual or a country, offer opportunities to reflect on memories, celebrate accomplishments, look forward to the future, and express gratitude. This is exactly what we're doing today as our dear nation marks its 64th independence and enhancement. It is now 64 years since Nigeria took charge of its destiny and embarked on the journey toward development as a sovereign nation. Today is a day to appreciate God for abundantly blessing us with natural, human, and material resources to build a great nation. However, for me, this should also be a day of sober reflection for every Nigerian, especially for us, the leaders, whose actions and inactions have contributed to the stagnation and glaring failures we are witnessing at present. As the saying goes, an unexamined life is not worth living. We must therefore examine ourselves in the light of our nation's journey over the past 6 decades. Have we lifted our people out of poverty, or have we driven more into it? Have we made education accessible to every Nigerian child, or have we allowed an army of over 18 million out-of-school children to roam the streets? Have we built a productive economy, or have we created a nation with the worst debt profile in its history? By every measure of development, from the critical areas to the smallest aspects, we are underperforming. We rank poorly in security and peacefulness, making us one of the most insecure nations globally. We are also ranked among the most corrupt countries, and we are noted for our disregard for the rule of law. Our nation continues its dangerous dance on the edge of a precipice. When we compare ourselves to countries that gained independence around the same time before or after us, Nigeria stands out as a nation in decline, urgently in need of rescue from further decay. On this day, therefore, we must make a solemn commitment to build a nation that is truly independent from the state capture that has dragged it into failure and kept its people in suffering. We must create a nation free from tribal disunity and religious disharmony. We must build a new and productive Nigeria that prioritizes the well-being of its citizens. That is the independence we should celebrate as a nation whose greatness remains possible. And it is signed PO, meaning that Mr. Peter Obi, put this out as sanctioned us. Yes, that's my president. That's the one I know. That's the person who won the 2023 election. And then people who do not follow process decided they were going to rig the election. We haven't said that. That's done, and by the way, a lot of people will say. But here we are, as a nation, as people who are defeated, people who think that there's nothing that they can do when there's so much that they can do. People who have allowed themselves to be cowed by fear, to be imprisoned by fear. People who have greatness thrust upon them, but again and again and again they reject that greatness. We have turned ourselves into people who almost do not believe in our own capacity, who are even ready to self-defeat themselves before anyone else defeat them. But you know what? Like Mr. Peter Obi did say, a new, a great, and a productive Nigeria is possible. It's attainable, and it can be done. All it takes is for you and I to believe. All it takes is for you and I to live fear. All it takes is for you and I to understand that even though we come out or we do not come out, when death comes, it will come. The fear of death is what has been used to keep us down. Many people are afraid to speak up. Many people are afraid to come out. Many people are afraid to take a stand because they're afraid of being killed. But yet, they are all being killed every day in the little corners they are, whether under their beds, whether on top of their beds, whether on the streets, whether on the roads that are bad, whether in hospitals where there are no medical services that ought to be. People are being killed. Yes, every day we pay that price, but we do not realize that we're paying that price. And if we do nothing, we'll pay more price. So my fellow citizens, today is October 1st, 2024. 64 years ago, there were people who were jubilating on the streets of Nigeria that finally Nigeria has gotten its independence. This independence that you and I see and most of us take for granted, that a lot of us were born even after the independence. People were killed for it. There were people who said then to them, those who were fighting for the independence, that it will never happen, that it will never come true. But those who fought for that independence never listened to them. They went on fighting for that great nation that we are supposed to have. And today, we failed them, failed every one of them who put their lives on the line, who did everything for us to get our independence. It's one thing to fail them, it's another thing to fail yourself. And indeed, we are failing ourselves. So the question I have for every one of you as I round up this video is to say, what are you going to do? What are you going to be remembered for? Do you just want to be someone who came to this earth and left this earth quietly, nothing, nobody knew? Or you want to be someone who made a difference? And every one of us can make our own differences in our little ways. Every one of us. And let's do that. Let's come together and build a nation that we all can be proud of. We all can live for our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, and the generation unborn, for them to have something that they can be proud of, that they can raise their head high in the world and say, our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our ancestors, they did the needful, and because of that, we have a nation that is great. Doing nothing and expecting a different result never got anyone anywhere. And I don't think it's going to get us anywhere. So dear citizens, yes we can. Yes, it's possible. We can have a nation. We can have a Nigeria where the child of nobody can become somebody without knowing anyone. Thank you.
How do celebrities like Justin Bieber and The Rock generate hundreds of millions of dollars? It's actually not what you think. They make a special kind of money known as royalties.
My name is Christian Mickelson, and I help everyday people increase their income online. I have to say, we're pretty darn good at it. My company is called Publishing.com, and we were just named the 19th fastest growing company in America right now. And there you can see us at number 19 on the list. And the reason we've been so successful in helping regular people make money is because we don't believe you should start your own business. That's what everyone gets wrong. Instead, we show you how to simply plug in to Amazon and the $500 billion business they've already built. However, the way we do it is very different from anything you've seen before. We don't show you how to sell products on Amazon. The way we plug into Amazon is through this app on your phone called Audible, which most people don't know is Amazon's app. And using this app, I showed my mother-in-law, Elsa here, how to get automated checks from Audible every month. Now, listen, this didn't make her rich. So if you're looking to get rich or make a ton of money in the next 7 days, I'm not your guy. But what I can confidently show you is how any regular person can start banking consistent
As we continue the solemn celebration of the 64th independence of Nigeria, let's now cross over to Makadi, where we have a rights correspondent, Theophilus T.R., reporting the situation in Makurdi. Theophilus, good morning and happy Independence Day anniversary to you. What's the situation in Makurdi with regard to the planned and Fearless in October protest?
Good morning, Doctor. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Rufai. Happy Independence Day. For Benue State, we don't have any youth organization that have planned any protests. We've been around. We went to the Benue State University. We went to Federal University of Agriculture, now just Taka University. None of the tertiary institutions, due to the public holiday, the students are just relaxing in their hostels. So for Benue State, we can say that there is no protest for now. We've also been at the police headquarters. They are not even mobilized for getting ready for any protest at all in the state.
Why do you think that's the case? Is it that there are no people on ground to mobilize the protest or what?
Well, largely, just like the End Bad Governance protest, there was none that took place in Benue State. The youths were called, they were spoken to by the political leaders in the state. They had press conferences. That was of August, the End Bad Governance protest. For this, they didn't have any protests, press conference, whether they're joining or not. They didn't associate themselves with any group that has been calling for the fearless protest today. So I believe maybe there have been a groundwork by the Benue politicians to subdue them in one way or the other, not to come out to protest against the government or even for the government.
It's not just politicians. Well, I don't know. Well, I wouldn't call him a politician, but the chairman of CAN, Christian Association of Nigeria in the state, also implored the youths to not come out to protest. But beyond that, I can see the street is almost empty. Can't see a lot of activity happening. What's the mood of the people on Independence Day? Usually you would see march past by students, primary, secondary school students. You would see some form of activity, people celebrating Independence Day. What's the mood generally in Benue State? Is there money to celebrate?
No, there isn't money. Students just resumed. I believe parents are feeling the pinch of after paying school fees, heavy school fees. So the students just resumed. Although we are expecting a march past, there have been no notice put out yet of anything happening, but the venue usually is the Ibrahim Babangida Square, which is just a few meters from where we are right now. But there is no activity going on yet. The governor, on his own part.
Well, Theophilus, will you say that Benue State,
yes, sir,
Makurdi, the capital, is particularly peaceful because of the twin combination of the fact that the governor, Father Yansi Talia, is a Catholic priest, a politician, and also a member of the All Progressives Congress. So do you think because of this, the governor, also acting as a priest, has been able to persuade the people not to disturb his political party? Well, you never know. Some of
you can say it's a combination of both. Yes, Doctor, you can say it's a combination of both. Being from the people himself, he has been able to speak to the people for a long time, and he had a large followership of people that canvassed for him to vie for the post of the governor before he decided to come in. So that has also helped, using the church, because largely for Makurdi or Benue State, a very good percentage are Christians. So the church was used yesterday to pass the message of there was no need. And being that he has promised the people a lot, and his party is also the party at the center, and the secretary to the government of the Federation also being from Benue State, these two factors or three factors have actually played a critical role in having Benue State being quiet this morning.
Okay. Will it be correct for me to assume further that perhaps Benue State may be one state where the people are not hungry, where unemployment is not a problem, where there is nobody going on the street saying we are hungry, we are hungry. They are so contented. You live there. You see that part of Nigeria is, an isolated part in terms of wealth and prosperity and contentment and patience that the president was asking for this morning.
No, Benue State also suffered from unemployment. There are skirmishes of insecurity. We have local governments and some communities that have been deserted for years. We have over 70,000 families, according to the IOM, that have been displaced since 2018 till now. They have not returned. They are living in IDP camps. But the youths in Benue State, instead of venting their anger on the streets, have decided to take to their farms, to their farmlands, because they know that after the street protests, they will still need to eat. There is farmlands. We're largely an agrarian state, so they prefer to vent their anger on their farmlands where there is hope, real hope of harvest at the end of the day.
I like that. Well, channel their energy to their farms where there's real hope of a harvest. Thank you so much for bringing us reports, Sia. Earlier on, we'd spoken to Mobalanle Adesuyi, correspondent on ground, and she's still on ground and will be able to give us some updates from the protests happening today. Hello, Mobalanle. Just before the break, just before we had to go off earlier on, we had asked you if you could speak to some of the protesters to ask them how they felt. Number one, about the president's speech. I don't know if they had the opportunity to listen, but the National Youth Conference being as announced by him, and if they are willing to work with the president on that.
Okay, I could barely hear what you said, but for some more updates on what's happening right here on the protest ground, I've got one of the organizers of the protest who will be speaking to us on what their intentions are for this protest. Good morning, tell us your name.
Good morning, my name is Adeola Samuel Ilori. I'm the National Coordinator, All Electricity Consumer Protection Club.
Tell us why you are here, what are your concerns?
Well, we are all here, and I particularly mobilize my members to join the protest because let me talk about my areas of concentration, which is electricity. We've had enough fraud in electricity so far so good, especially in the areas of tariff and all other line materials that the consumers are about to use free of charge, in which they have been encumbered with providing. And so, for whatever it was, if we cannot be part of this to let the government know that for so far so good, it has been a sham when you talk about the power sectors, privatization, what have you. And the Bible says if the foundation be destroyed, what are the righteous do? The destructions and the sham in the privatizations of the power sector from the beginning create all these problems we are having, and it's permeating completely all around. Because when you say you put somebody in band A, and let's say, like they said, they put 2 million people in band A, and you are generating between 3,000 4,000 megawatts per day for 200 million people. How do you want to share it that only band A will be covered? Not to talk of when you have band A, you have band B, band C, band D, and band E. Let's take for granted that band E is looking for 4 hours. But what are the people you promise 12 to 16 hours, which is band C? People you promise 18 to 20 hours, which is band B, and the 20 to 24 hours band A, which you have criminally increased their tariff recently. Criminally, because as much as I don't want to talk about, because my group is already in court with NEC, challenging the propriety and not following the process of the law for increasing that tariff at the Federal High Court Ibadan. Presently, November 13 is the next adjourned day. I don't want to talk much about it, but let us look at people in band B. How much are you giving to them? Ordinarily, before the criminal increase of the band A tariff, they are paying 68 naira 80 kobo, and yet you are not even meeting the so-called hour that you promised them. And so the reason why we are here, and generally speaking, when you look at the Nigerians in entirety, I I call Nigeria this morning a giant in a dwarf body, because everything that makes a nation is not there. We are not progressing. When the government people in power say Nigeria is making progress, I look at them and I look at the indices of being progressive, and I look at the other nations, even in Africa here. I've been to Rwanda and other places, and I saw things. Even Lagos State that claim to be a pseudo mega city. What is mega in Lagos? Look at death all around. Look at potholes on the streets of Ikeja, not any other place.